From the Aishan Broadcast Studio, it's Power Players, brought to you by DX1.
MPN's Power Player is sponsored by DX1. Connect every part of your dealership with DX1's cloud-based, all-in-one solution, offering a certified DMS, lead manager, website, marketing tools, and more. All built into one smart, seamless solution. Visit dx1app.com for more information.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Greg Jones with Motorcycle and Powersports News, and welcome to a new episode of MPN's Power Player. Today I'm joined by Alex Arkhangelskiy. He is of Break Free. Alex, thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure.
Yeah, great to see you. Thanks for being in the studio. I understand you're coming from out west in the Denver area, correct?
That's right.
Very cool. Well, thanks for making the trip out to Akron, Ohio. And we want to get into some of the cool things that you guys are doing at Break Free, and specifically with your product here. But before we get into some of that, this is a first for some of us here. We get to talk to somebody who's been on the Shark Tank show, which was kind of a breakout moment for you guys getting to, get that exposure. But I understand it wasn't all what it seemed, from the inside. So can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, sure. Shark Tank was definitely a lot of fun. It was definitely a roller coaster of emotions for us to be on there. It was a long process to get on the show. The show itself was fun. It was great to meet the Sharks in person. I don't know how you would get a chance to meet those guys otherwise.
Right, absolutely.
And get a chance to pitch them your business idea. But yeah, it had its ups and downs for sure. So yeah, I didn't really know if we were going to make it on the show the whole time. And every single stage that we were getting closer and closer to being on the show, I was getting more and more nervous.
So for viewers out there who maybe didn't see it, this wasn't just recently. This was back in 2019, 2020 type time frame, correct?
Right. Yeah, we shot in 2019, but the episode actually aired in December of 2020. So we were on season 11, episode 8.
Okay. Very good. And
actually, season 12, episode 8, because we shot for season 11. Sorry.
Gotcha. Yeah, and then it went one more season after.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did it go? While you guys were on there?
It went really well. I didn't stumble through my pitch. Everything went smooth for the first 2 minutes. So that was the most nerve-wracking part, I think, because as soon as you start kind of talking and engaging with the Sharks, I think I stopped worrying as much. Mm-hmm. It was really that little room where you're sitting and waiting for the little doors to open, and then you start walking down that hallway with the camera kind of in front of you, and then the big doors open, and then stand there awkwardly for about 30 seconds until somebody yells, and pitch, and then you start doing your 2-minute thing that you've been rehearsing for months at that point. Right. And it was great. It was great to meet the Sharks. I was happy that a lot of the Sharks weren't as negative as they've been on other episodes. Mm-hmm. Mr. Wonderful was actually wonderful to us. He didn't have anything super negative to say. So yeah, it was really fun.
DX1 is the only all-in-one dealership management solution for the motorcycle and power sports industry. The perfect combination of a DMS, website, and suite of marketing tools that encourages dealers to invest in their customers and not into separate software to run their dealership. All of the components of DX1 work seamlessly together to increase their staff's efficiency while allowing dealers to be with their customers rather than behind a computer screen duplicating data entry. OEM integrations, automated scheduling, and smart customer notifications combine with the real-time flow of data throughout the dealership to simplify tasks and improve day-to-day operations, all within one system and one login. This secure, cloud-based solution is accessible everywhere and has proven to be a crucial asset in the success of many powersports dealerships today. Contact DX1 now and see why others are switching to the only all-in-one powersports dealership management solution. DX1.
I understand that you did get an offer, but you still had to go through some crowdsourcing type stuff in terms of getting the first products up and going.
So it's we did the crowdfunding first.
Okay.
We launched our crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo in 2017.
Okay.
In March, and filmed Shark Tank in September of 2019.
Okay.
And then once we got the deal on the show with Mark and Robert, we ended up doing the due diligence process, which took months. And then sometime in February, we heard that we weren't going to get the deal. It was kind of a boilerplate type of answer, email thing that was kind of impersonal, didn't give us a whole lot of reason for why that happened.
Yeah, interesting.
But I'm guessing the pandemic had a lot to do with it. So decided to move forward anyways. It was kind of that's the roller coaster part that I was talking about. You know, you're feeling really like on top of the world where you've got two of the sharks that you were hoping to get, and then you got both of them, and then now you think that they're going to help you with getting to market and all the things that I don't know how to do going forward, like, you know, the mass production and all the making sure of, you know, you're not going to get sued for liability things, or, you know, just a lot of stuff that I didn't know that I was hoping to get some help with. And unfortunately that fell through, but the team rallied together and we decided to go for it anyways. We figured out how to get the first mass production run together. We fulfilled all of the Indiegogo pre-orders from our backers, and you know, launched with a small mass production run that was just 1,000 units, and then ended up putting all that money back into the business, getting a larger one. And then eventually Shark Tank called us and told us, hey, your episode's going to be airing next season. At that point, we were kind of a little disillusioned with the whole thing. So we're like, okay, we'll see it. You know, if it happens, fantastic. If it doesn't, we'll just keep marching on. And sure enough, in December 8th, it aired. And yeah, the Shark Tank effect is definitely real. Like, it was insane to watch the whole thing unfold. Like, I had my laptop set up and I was trying to film like a time lapse of what was happening. So it aired on East Coast and it went Central and so forth. And it just kind of went across the map, and then you could see like the traffic to our website just skyrocket. Like, and it would just be like a wave kind of going from east to west.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we've had massive amount of sales. Well, for us, so we sold, I want to say we were at $250,000 up to the Shark Tank episode airing, and then we did another like $250,000 in the 2 weeks after the episode. So it was awesome for us. That definitely got our name out there. A lot of dealerships started to reach out. A lot of folks found out about us. So yeah, it was a fantastic experience in retrospect.
Yeah, definitely. So Alex, we haven't even gotten into you know, what exactly Break Free is and how it came about. So you know, let's go there. You know, what got you into the power sports world, and what kind of gave you that idea to create this product?
Sure. So I started riding motorcycles when I was 19. So, you know, I took my MSF class, got scared enough by the instructor saying that, you know, you're invisible out there. You need all the gear you can have. You know, you should pretend you're invisible. Cars are not going to see you. So ride defensively. It's a scary world out there. And then I was commuting on my motorcycle to school and just enjoying North California mountain rides, and, you know, just enjoying the sport really. And then I had an opportunity to start an internship after I graduated from San Jose State to work with an entrepreneur who was working on a bunch of different projects. And one of his projects was kind of an idea for a car product. To make that story shorter, I ended up convincing him to pivot the idea into the motorcycle world. The idea was to have some kind of an autonomous brake light that would tell you when you're slamming on your brakes. So it would do something to warn drivers behind you that something extra is happening. And so for me, taking my motorcycle riding experience, commuting to school, you know, many close calls on, you know, various places. So kind of connecting the dots and saying like, okay, this kind of thing needs to happen for the motorcycle industry. The car folks are pretty safe. They've got a cage around them. There's plenty of lights on a car already. All the reasons why I didn't think the product or idea would work out in that space. So we pivoted it into the motorcycle world. But the internship came to a conclusion. My boss didn't really have any desire to keep going with the project because he's never ridden a motorcycle, had no intent of, figuring out that whole market. And I asked him if I could kind of see if I can take this on, see how far we can take this whole thing. Because to me, it was an educational experience, just getting my hands dirty, getting in there and figuring out how do companies start, how do products get made. And everything was new for me. So every stage of this whole process of developing a product was brand new. So it was very exciting. And, I wanted to see it to some kind of a completion, whether it fails okay, no problem, lesson learned, move on to something else, or, you know, seeing this thing take off.
Very cool.
And then, so yeah, crowdfunding was the next stage for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. And had you ever done the crowdfunding thing, or yeah?
Nope.
Was that a whole learning experience in itself, I assume?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I tend to hyper-focus on things. So when we were deciding on how do we get this product to market, hardware products, physical things are expensive to make. You need tooling, you need to have some kind of expertise in manufacturing, design, all the different electrical components. And I was studying business, which did not really prepare me for any of those things. So ended up having to put my team together. So now there's 4 co-founders that created this product with me. So I by myself did not, you know, do this thing by myself. We had my first co-founder was an industrial designer who I happened to luck into by interviewing folks at different motorcycle dealerships, just asking them about, do you think that this idea has legs? Like, who would this be for? What type of price point are we looking at? Do you think that this needs to be on a helmet? Can we put this on the jacket? Like, have there been other products or attempts at this kind of thing? So he happened to be working at a dealership as a sales guy, but he was in a transition period to get into the OEM and work as an industrial designer, which is his whole professional training. So I just happened to find him at the right time and with the right idea. So we've teamed up and ended up competing in some business plan competitions to try and see if our idea has merit, and ended up winning a few, got a little bit of money, mainly it was the confidence boost of like, yeah, these folks thought that it was a good idea, so let's keep pushing it forward and see how far we can go. Then the technology piece of it, you know, in my whole research, I've found that other products have existed and it seemed like they never took off for one reason or another. And my suspicion was because it required some kind of hard connection to the motorcycle itself, splicing into the wiring and transmitting something to the device. So I wanted to make sure that it was completely wireless, so the installation process could be as simple as possible. Yeah,
so Alex, walk us through a little bit about how Break Free works.
Absolutely.
You're hinting at it, that it's a Bluetooth, you know, device here.
Sure.
So yeah, explain it a little bit.
So this is Break Free on the back of this helmet right here. However, it attaches to just about any helmet, so that's why I have a couple of different helmet options here. Yeah. So you attach this to the helmet you already own. You just use a simple 3M VHP adhesive mount that we've designed. The back of the product has the same exact shape on the back, so it just kind of locates on there, clicks in. Now you have a smart brake light on the back of your helmet that's not connected to the bike, does not require any apps, does not require any wire splicing, so anytime you slow down, you get a brake light. So that means that it would work for regular braking, but more importantly for engine braking and also emergency braking. So if you do a hard stop, it will actually flash and then go back to the regular braking mode. So
that's pretty neat.
Yeah, the mounting is super simple.
Yeah.
There's only a single button on the unit to turn it on and switch to different running light modes. And the unit does its own thing. So all you have to do is just attach the mount to the helmet, turn it on, and that's about it.
Okay. And it's only for braking purposes. It's not giving you like a left signal or a right signal if you're turning or anything like that, or does it do stuff like that?
Correct. So for our first products, we wanted to kind of keep things simple. We couldn't really figure out exactly how to make the blinkers reliable enough to where you can trust that it's actually doing what your bike is doing as well, because it doesn't connect to the motorcycle. There's no way for the bike to tell the light that, you know, we're turning on the blinker and then when to turn it off. So you don't want to be that guy that's just sitting there with the blinker on forever. We have some ideas on how to implement it. We even have it in our patent for gestures where you could like, you know, either tilt your head or do something special that's unique, I guess, to then activate it. Yeah, so we wanted to keep things simple for the first product, just to proof of concept that, you know, a completely wireless solution is desirable. And the other aspect of it was the design of it, because typically safety products don't really look that good. You know, they serve a great function and they probably do their job really well, like those neon highlighter yellow helmets and vests and things like that people wear, but some people don't wear them because it doesn't look good, doesn't match the aesthetic. So we wanted to make something that looks like it's meant to be part of that helmet.
Right. Very cool. And all right, so you got, I think that one was black there, and you got a white one back here.
Yeah.
Are those the two main colors? Is there any other options?
Yeah, so we started out with the black,
Yeah.
and ended up adding white, since white is the second most popular helmet color. So the units are exactly the same internally. It's just a different color.
Yeah. Very
just
nice.
to kind of match your preference.
So Alex, you were demonstrating, brake free coming on and off the mount there, and you mentioned, people can use this on different helmets and just kind of whatever their vehicle might be or their helmet might be. But there's different mounts because there's different helmets and different shapes that you're trying to fit. So you want to just talk a little bit about how people can utilize those?
Yeah, of course. So the kit comes with two mounts. It comes with one of these guys, the universal mounts. Okay. They're a little skinnier, and the XL mount, which is thicker. So the reason why we include two mounts is because some helmets have a flatter shape on the back, so it might require a little bit more clearance. Brake free itself, it's a rigid product, so it doesn't flex in any way. So that's why you would want, sometimes might need different mounting solutions. So the universal mount would work with just about 80% of the helmets out there on the market. And we wanted to cover the rest with the XL mount, which is just 5 millimeters thicker, so it adds a little bit more clearance. It allows you to clear some of the vents potentially, or spoilers, or anything that gets in the way of the unit where you're in the ideal mounting location. Yeah. And then one other mount that we don't include in the kit but is available on the website, all of them are actually available on the website, so you can purchase additional mounts and attach them to all of your helmets. Yeah. This mount is for the Shoei RF 1400. They've changed the design, and now the curvature on the back of the helmet has a bigger curve. So the universal mount wouldn't work necessarily in that lower portion of the helmet, and the XL mount is not ideal. So we've designed one specifically for that helmet because it's a popular helmet, and we wanted to make sure that our product fits on there. So with the RF 1400 mount, it would work on the Shoei RF 1400.
Yeah, excellent. No, easy way to just go helmet to helmet. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. You don't have to buy a separate expensive light. You could just attach a mount to every helmet and switch it around.
So good to go.
Oh, and one more thing. So a lot of the times folks ride with a passenger, and you don't want brake free to shine in their face as you're riding. So that's another great use case for these extra mounts, is to attach a mount to the passenger's helmet so you could easily transfer the light from your helmet onto theirs. So that way they're still very visible on the bike.
And Alex, I'm curious, you said earlier when you're still figuring out the product and what made sense, you were talking about the helmet, but maybe it would apply to a jacket. What ultimately made the helmet the better spot for this device?
That's a great question. Well, so what we found out was helmet is, well, we didn't find this out. It's kind of obvious when you think about it. It's the highest point on the rider. So we wanted to put the light as high as possible so that way the drivers can actually see you in traffic. Most of the time, cars, drivers are looking for other cars. So they're looking for that triangle of lights, that third brake light that they have on all the cars now, as well as the two on the side. And on the motorcycle, typically you've got like one brake light out of eye level for most drivers, and they're already distracted. So, anything that you can do to bring it up higher, and something that moves with your head, I feel like it grabs more attention as well. Plus the light itself has a 120-degree viewing angle, so you could see it from the side. So we found the location on the helmet would be the most ideal, but that also kind of brought its own challenges of having all that extra motion of your head as you're head checking or, rocking out to your music. You don't want the light to just strobe as you're rocking out. So that was a big part of the technology that we ended up developing to make it accurate. That was the goal, is to make sure that it's spot on.
Yeah. So Alex, obviously you guys have been around now for a few years developing this product. Now, what are some of the frequently asked questions that you guys typically get on the website, or just people who have been interested, whether they're at the dealer level or just a rider level? Right. What do you commonly get asked about?
Well, so we typically get asked, so how does it work? Is it Bluetooth? Does it require you to wire things in? People kind of instantly trying to figure out, how does this thing that I'm looking at work? So that's always fun to explain that it doesn't connect to anything. And at that point, a light bulb goes off. It's oh, okay, cool. So I can use it on all my bikes. I don't have to wire a thing to every single bike. I can use it on all my helmets. So we our whole team is riders, so we wanted to make this for ourselves as well as the community, and make folks safer out there. So the other question would be, how long does the battery last, or is it battery powered? Which it is. It's on the back of the unit right here. There's a battery door right here. It's a USB-C charging port. We've just recently updated it from micro USB, so that was a big change for us.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, now you can charge it up in just over an hour, and the battery lasts 8 to 12 hours. So we try to use as high capacity batteries we could, so that way you don't have to charge another thing often.
Yeah, and if you're riding over 8 hours, that's a pretty long trip on the motorcycle. So
yeah,
very cool. All right. So Alex, I mentioned the dealer side of things. Obviously a lot of our viewers are the dealer audience. So how do you guys market to them, and what's been the reception on the dealer side to carry in your product?
So initially, Shark Tank did a lot of lifting where we didn't really do a whole lot of outreach to the dealers ourselves. They would just reach out to us and ask if we have a dealer program, which we do.
Okay.
Definitely got a lot of help in trying to figure out the pricing. We competed in a business plan competition called Gas Tank as part of AIM Expo. I think it's the Motorcycle Industry Council that put it on. Yep. And so we competed in 21, where we got paired up with a industry expert to kind of coach us along in preparation for this competition. So he actually was pretty instrumental in helping us shape the dealer program and how that would typically work, the pricing, like kind of what the dealers would want in a product, and how to structure that whole side of the business. So for probably the first 2-3 years, we've been just essentially not really reaching out to the dealers, but they've been reaching out to us. It's kind of a very visual product that's unique enough to where it sparks a conversation typically. So our customers would walk into a dealership, and then inevitably somebody would ask, like, what is that? How does that work? And they kind of become our ambassador by default, and end up telling the dealer, well, it's actually completely wireless. It mounts like this. It's a really cool product. I get a lot of comments, and then the dealer then ends up looking us up and reaching out to us. Okay. So since then, we've started to build out that program a little bit more. We've started going to AIM Expo, and specifically trying to market to dealers to make it attractive for them to give us a try. Place the smallest order you can. That's fine. We started offering demo units because we found that the dealerships that used a demo helmet where Break Free was displayed would sell a whole bunch of them, and it just starts conversations. It's an easy add-on to any helmet. So yeah, just upside for the dealer, I would say. Yeah,
and I assume it's been going well for the dealers that have carried it and been able to demonstrate it, correct? They've been successful with it?
Yeah, I would say so. Our orders have been growing. We haven't really been losing dealers. We haven't really heard any complaints from dealers.
Good.
Yeah, and then now we're with Cycle Gear and Revzilla, so those guys have been taken off with Break Free. I think we were one of their top performing accessory products that they've introduced for the year when that happened. So yeah. It's been going really well.
Very cool. Well, it's good to see you guys have the success here. Now, I got one last question for you. Obviously we're talking to the motorcycle and power sports crowd, and we got the helmets here, but is your product just for this marketplace, or does it have any other applications?
Glad you asked. Yes, since it's completely wireless, it's really just detecting you slowing down. So really you could use it on just about anything that moves. Okay. One industry we found interested in our product was the snowmobile industry, which is the reason why we've upgraded the battery to the new chemistry, which allows it to function in colder weather. So the capacity didn't change, it's just the chemistry changed a little bit just to accommodate for cold use. So snowmobile riders really love the product, specifically trail riding, because, well, I'm not a snowmobiler, so I didn't really click in my mind, but it totally makes sense. As you're riding on a trail, it kicks up all that snow, and then the sled gets the brake light covered up for the most part. And then so you can't really see what the person in front of you is doing, but putting a Break Free on the back of your helmet makes it super easy to spot you.
Yeah.
Especially when you're slowing down as well. It lights up to like 100% brightness, and it's just this torch in the sky.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's neat.
The other folks that really like our products are the PEV industry, which is the personal electric vehicles, specifically like the EMX, which is like those electric dirt bikes. Those have been really popular, and those folks typically ride with a helmet, so our product makes a lot of sense for them. And the kind of a niche within that niche is the electric unicycles. Have you ever seen those things?
Yeah, they're kind of the low thing. Yeah, with just the one wheel and
Yeah, kind of like a little suitcase
Right,
with a big wheel. Yeah,
those
those
foot pegs and
yeah, exactly. Those things go super fast. Now they go up to like 65 plus miles an hour.
Wow.
And you're basically trusting this thing to keep you balanced, and you're just kind of flying, which is awesome, which is why I think the massive appeal of that. But those folks wear full gear, usually a full face helmet, and we've started to see them use brake free, which is fantastic. And it makes a ton of sense because it adds a lot of visibility. It helps them get spotted in traffic. The EUC also has lighting that's very low to the ground, so even worse than motorcycles or cruiser bikes. There's no way to bring it up higher other than mounting something on yourself, which is the thing that brake free does.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Alex, I really appreciate you walking us through a bit of your history and a bit about the product and what you guys have going on and some of the different applications that you guys are getting into. It's really neat. Yeah. But I want to give you a chance just to elaborate on anything maybe that we didn't cover, or just what might be on the horizon for brake free.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Well, we've just launched on Amazon, so you can find us there. We have our website, which is www.brakefreetech.com. Social media, YouTube, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Our whole team's US based, so if you reach out to us, you're talking to somebody from probably either one of the 5 guys that are working with us.
Cool.
So in terms of future products, we'll definitely announce anything that's coming out. We definitely have some ideas for second product, an iteration to the original.
Awesome.
Yeah, so there's some stuff coming down the pipe.
Stuff to look forward to.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, Alex, we appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you, getting to talk to you. Guys, we appreciate all of you watching this episode of MPN's Power Player. Make sure you are checking out everything that Alex and his team are doing there at Brake Free. And as always, make sure you're checking out motorcyclepowersportsnews.com for more great powersports content. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.